Hey y'all, I'm back. So as you probably know, Beck has been sharing some very interesting content lately. They've been opening up and answering questions about their relationship and day-to-day life with Amber. A lot of it is really just confirming what we all assumed was happening behind the scenes, and they've also spilled some gory new details, such as the choosy game, which involves sorting through Amber's knick-knack hoards for hours, possibly even days, to pick the best thing. Being made to pretend to pick lint off of Amber's back, set to a 45-minute timer. Basically just odd stuff that most would never expect their partner to do on a regular basis. Beck's tea does have the ring of truth, in my opinion. Everything they've said is consistent and lines up with what we saw on Amber's channel during the Beck era. So of course Amber has to respond to this slander. Her latest video is entitled, My Last Response to Beck. So we can pretty much expect this to be the first of many responses to Beck as they continue to open up and share. All aboard the accountability train, I guess. Let's see what our girl has to say for herself.
Hello, so welcome to a new video. It's actually February 7th at 3 a.m. in the morning. Yes, I should be asleep, but here I am
You
awake
should.
filming a video.
Yeah, 3 a.m. Go to bed. Listen, no good post was ever made at 3 o'clock in the morning. No good response was ever made at 3 o'clock in the morning. Go to sleep, get your head together, address it at a normal time of day.
I was actually getting ready to get comfy and try to sleep. My sleeping hasn't been the greatest. I've just been having a lot of anxiety, and when I have a lot of anxiety, I go to sleep really late, and I genuinely hate it. Something else.
I'm guessing she went to go to bed, was maybe scrolling through YouTube while she was getting ready for Betty's, happened upon Beck's latest info drops, and just couldn't leave it. Could not leave it.
Suffered with majority of my life. But anyways, I could have totally slept and waited till tomorrow to film this, but I think
that would have been smart.
It's just so heavy that like I have to do it now.
Yeah, there it is. She couldn't let it be for a few hours while she got some sleep.
So I can just be completely done with it.
No. She couldn't keep her mouth shut. She couldn't take the time to think about what she was going to say. So here we are.
Beck's new video that they posted tonight or today or whatever.
Yeah, there it is. She saw it and she couldn't sleep and she couldn't keep her mouth shut.
But it was a new one. So that video genuinely shocked me, and it made me feel stupid and dumb, and it made me realize that like the way that I viewed our relationship was completely wrong, and I was oblivious to a lot of things.
How are you oblivious? Your relationship was vlogged and live streamed. We could all see it. Like I said in the introduction, a lot of what Beck has said is just them confirming what we already suspected or already were saying, hey, we see this. This is the dynamic we're seeing. Is this really all there is? Is this the truth? And Beck is confirming that. Everyone else saw it. Don't tell me you didn't see it.
Even to the extent of the way that I treated them. So I want to be accountable in that.
Oh, look at her trying extra hard to make sure she uses the right pronouns and really stressing the them. Good job, Amber.
But this is just the example that I saw in their newest video where it made me look back and be like, yeah, like we both actually viewed this relationship completely different. So in their new video,
what was that still for? What a weirdo.
They were reacting to a compilation video of me being rude to them for 10 minutes straight. And in the reaction, Beck stated multiple times that it's obvious that they didn't want to be on camera. And they said, oh, look at me zoning out while she's talking. And it's like,
this was all stuff your audience said at the time. Beck doesn't look like they want to be on camera. Beck looks like they're zoning out. Beck looks like they are detached. Beck looks like they are disassociating. We all said that at the time. You're being rude to Beck. Look how dismissive she's being of Beck. Look at Beck just sat there out of it. What is going on? We all said it.
Like both of those things like genuinely hurt, and it made me realize like I didn't even notice these things.
Just like how when I was in a relationship,
it was in your comments at the time when those videos were fresh. People were pointing it out then.
With them, I didn't notice how mean or rude I could come off until
you edited videos of it. You vlogged it, sat down in front of it, rewatched it, edited it, and posted it. This is the worst rewrite.
looking back, and I just feel super remorseful.
If you felt remorseful, you'd pay them for the live streams.
I viewed our whole relationship a certain way that it wasn't. I genuinely thought that they wanted to be on camera and that they were okay with being on camera. And I was...
How self-centered, how self-absorbed, how stuck on your own self do you have to be to look at those videos of you and Beck and not see it? Complete strangers could see it. We all saw it, but Amber.
So accustomed to them zoning out or seeming like they didn't want to be on camera that like...
Because they were zoning out and they didn't want to be on camera. It was obvious.
That was normal for me, but I didn't know that the zoning out...
It was just so common that you thought it was how they were. It was just the state of things and you bulldozed right over it.
Out and the look on their face, etc., was like an indication that they weren't listening to me or that they didn't want to be on camera. Like that is like news to me. So no.
Did it really take Beck mentioning it in a video all these years later? All those comments, all those reactions at the time, pointing this out on a basically daily basis. News to me.
Knowing that like I viewed our relationship one way and it wasn't, like I genuinely look stupid, but I guess like maybe I low-key deserve it.
Realize...
Oh, you do. You look stupid and you deserve to look stupid at this point. This is ridiculous.
Saying that we both viewed this relationship so differently actually makes it easier for me to be accountable and to...
So be accountable. Do a real apology. Sit down with one of those videos and go through it and apologize for the things that you see yourself doing.
Apologize, because if that's the way that they truly viewed it, like I deeply apologize for that. And
apologize with a check.
There's nothing I can do to change their opinions and their thoughts and their experience because that's what they lived.
I wasn't the greatest girlfriend.
What they lived, no, that's what you put them through.
I wasn't the most perfect girlfriend, but I will say I'm not all good, I'm not all bad, and I wasn't that way then either. Like our relationship was definitely complex, and even though it might not be visible to the public or even to Beck in this moment, I have taken accountability for the things that I've done.
How?
And in the video, they even...
How have you taken accountability? By paying Beck back for the live streams? By helping Beck get back on their feet? Because you haven't paid them for the live streams and you left them with $100 in their pocket. The whole community knows that. Is it this half-assed apology? Is that how you're taking accountability? Are you going to list some things you're accountable for? Or you're just going to say, I'm taking accountability and think that that somehow covers it? Because it doesn't. You need to be specific, girl.
Stated like, I don't want you to reach out to me. And that's very much why I haven't, because I wanted to respect those boundaries. But they said, I don't want an apology from you. I genuinely feel like...
Because they know it doesn't mean anything. They know an apology from you is hollow and pointless, and you're going to proceed to just do whatever you're going to do anyway. You can say sorry all day long, but it's just an Amberlynn sorry. It really doesn't mean anything unless you sit down, list some things you're actually sorry for, go work on those things, and maybe provide some financial compensation for the financial abuse you put Beck through.
Beck deserves an apology for the wrongdoings that I did do. But if they don't want to accept it or hear it, then I have to be okay with that. I'm not going to apologize to the internet. The apology wasn't for you guys. It was for them. I feel like in this situation, like this type of accountability should be handled in private, just like the apology should have.
Is this you handling it in private? No, you wanted to come on here and try to clean up your reputation a little bit after Beck dumped all that information on the community.
And the sort of discussion that is like happening between back and forth with us, like these things should be happening in private. And it's like when personal matters like this are brought onto.
I can tell you this right now as someone who has been through some situations. You cannot go back and rehash any kind of DV or similar situation privately one-on-one with that partner and get anywhere unless that person is doing massive amounts of mental health work. There is no point to Beck sitting down and trying to have any kind of private conversation with you and expecting any kind of accountability or a real apology. That's why they don't want it. I can almost guarantee you that, because it would be meaningless because you're doing no actual work to make up for it now. You're not working to make yourself better. You're not working to right any wrongs that you could possibly have a chance to right at this point with the relationship. Yeah, you can't go back and undo those actions, but you can compensate for the financial abuse.
Like a public platform, I feel like backed up in a corner, like I have to defend myself or I have to say something. But it's like, I'm not going to sit here.
You don't have to. You want to, because you cannot take the criticism. You cannot take the truth making you look bad.
And go through every single thing that they said, like every single claim, every single this or that.
That's kind of what you should probably think about doing, to be honest. If you wanted to really take accountability, you would break down those claims, examine your actions, and apologize for those specific actions.
Because that is just going to fuel negativity.
And then you would figure out what you're going to do in your life to make sure you don't repeat those actions again. That's not fueling negativity. That's being a serious adult.
I really don't feel like the back and forth is productive for either.
Anything serious is negative with her. Like, those words are not the same thing, but I think she thinks they mean the same thing. Because if you're critical and you're serious and you're actually, examining this on a critical, serious level, she thinks that's negativity. Any criticism, any serious remark about this is negativity. Anything other than an ass pat is negativity, in her opinion.
But if they truly feel like sharing their story is what is going to help them in the long run, then go for it. But I have to genuinely step away. Like I said,
then step away, shut the camera off, go to bed. It's 3 a.m. Think about if you really want to say this and post it. Think about what real accountability might be, and then stop whatever this is.
I wasn't going to speak about them, and that was standing. But like hearing all of these things being said, it's been hard for me because it's like I have shown growth in my personal life. And
no, you haven't. Where? Is the growth in the room with us right now?
It's hard to like show growth publicly when these are things that like was happening behind the scenes. So publicly, I might look the same to you guys, but I have changed a lot. I am
How?
Always open for growth and for changing to be a better person every.
How? What direct steps? What actions? What have you done? How have you grown? How have you changed? What are you doing to work on that? Oh, is it your one therapy appointment you've been to? How many years later? Is that the growth?
Every single day. And I want to reflect on the past more because that actually genuinely helps me see ways that I need to improve and ways that I.
Not if you're dishonest about it, it doesn't. Not if you're rewriting the details. Not if you don't take full accountability for what actually happened. Not if you don't face the reality of what actually went down. If you're going to say, oh, I didn't know they didn't want to be on camera. Oh, I didn't know they were zoning out. Oh, I didn't know this made them unhappy. Oh, I didn't know this was suffering for them. Oh, I didn't know this was torturous for them. Oh, I didn't know this was financial abuse. If you can't examine that in an honest way instead of saying, oh, I didn't see it, but I guess I didn't see it. How would I have known I didn't see it? You're not coming from a place of honesty. There's no growth to be had. You can go to therapy all day long, but if that's your starting point, it's not going to get you where you need to be as a mature adult.
Already have improved.
And I just want to say that any time that I had Beck on my channel, it was never out of malice.
No, it wasn't. It was out of greed. It was out of get the money in Amberlynn's pocket. What can we do? Oh, side character. People want to see that.
Never meant to disrespect them. And
you just used them as content. And no one cares if you meant to disrespect them. The fact of the matter is you did. Impact matters more than intention sometimes. And this is one of those cases where the impact, the results, the experience of Beck matters more than whatever you intended. Because whether or not you intended to do this to Beck, you did it.
I really, 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 really did love them. This might be a little tea because no one knows, but when Beck and I were just friends while I was with Feline, and Feline did know this, don't worry. One night I got really, really drunk and I told Beck, like, I really was in love with you and I still love you. Like, you're a great person. And I hyped them up because genuinely, I owe so much to them and I have so much gratitude to them. They were there for me during some of the
Then pay them for the live streams.
hardest moments of my life, i.e. when I was diagnosed with cancer. But I have never tried to show them in a certain way. Nothing was ever out of malice from the bottom of my heart. And I just really needed to make that.
No, it was out of greed. You knew that you would get comments, you would get views, you would get reactions when you showed Beck in the state they were in. Negative engagement is still engagement. And maybe it wasn't out of malice. I can believe that because I don't think she cared enough about Beck to be malicious. Amber cares about one thing. Amber, she wanted the content. She got the content. That's all that mattered. It was pure greed. We can leave malice out of it. That's fine. I can believe Amber on that 100% that it wasn't malicious because I don't think it was. I think it was greedy and callous.
Clear.
Like, honestly, all I can really do is just continue working on myself. My focus moving forward is to just
Continue. When did you start?
Ignore it all. Like, I wanted to take what Beck is doing and put it in like a positive way and put a positive spin to it and like be like, yeah, I am accountable. But at the same time, obviously, like, I do find frustrations in the ways that I feel like they are exaggerating or they have lied. I do firmly believe.
What's the lie? Tell us the lie. Bring the receipts. Show us where Beck lied.
That two things can happen at once. I can be accountable, but I can also be frustrated. But I'm not accountable and frustrated about the same things. Like everyone likes to say, there are three sides to every story. Their side, my side, the truth. And like a really good example of like people viewing things differently, like kind of what's going on with like Blake and Justin. Blake feels like one thing happened, while Justin's like, no, that's not what happened. So you know what? I can't even sit here and firmly be like,
this is not the same thing, Amber. Holy mother of false equivalencies. This is not the same thing.
Like, okay, Beck is lying, because if they viewed it that way, then I have to accept that for what it is, because what's true.
But you can't accept it, because if you could, you wouldn't be sat here making this video. You might be making a video, but it would be a very different video.
Someone and the way that they view something might not be true to everyone else in the room.
I want to play devil's advocate here for a second. If I'm remembering something wrong that Beck genuinely remembers as like a full truth, then that's fair as well, because I have really bad memory problems.
Okay, there. You have a bad memory. Everything Beck said, we're telling you, lines up with what we all watched. We were all making comments the whole time. Devil's advocate, I'm going to give Beck the benefit of the doubt here.
Due to moments of high stress, trauma, BPD, when I have
Oh, there it is. It's not her fault. I don't remember the abuse because of my mental health.
anxiety, sometimes I'll literally like black out because I'm so anxious.
I just want to say,
Her anxiety has made her black out the memories of treating Beck poorly. Well, isn't that just more convenient than a 7-Eleven on every corner?
whether my apology was behind a paywall, whether it was in a Snapchat, whether it's in a YouTube video, or whether I say it to Beck directly, it is 100% sincere. And
It should be on all of those places. You messed up as a public figure. You need to apologize across all forums and privately with a check to Beck for the live stream era.
have apologized to them personally, but that was...
Did you do it with a check for the live stream era? Did you outline the things you actually did wrong without trying to downplay or say, I don't remember, or I viewed it differently, or bring up your own trauma? I doubt that.
was years ago after our breakup. Beck and I was friends for about a year after we broke up. And obviously
No, you weren't.
that didn't work out, which I understand, but I did apologize to them. I don't think that I took as much accountability as I do take now because
So, none accountability versus none accountability. Yeah, okay, whatever. Friends. You don't rip off your friends. You don't treat friends how you treated Beck.
I said, every day I like to reflect and just grow into a better person. So I'm not going to sit here and list off every single claim that they said and write down like, okay, guys, these are the things that are true and these are the things that aren't. These are the things that I'm accountable for.
That's maybe what you should do. Why are you not going to do that?
Like, there's no productivity in that. Because
there is a lot of productivity in that. Certainly more than what you're doing now, because you would actually be going through and really examining your actions if you did that. And you can't handle that.
whether the internet knows what I'm accountable for versus what I'm not accountable for, that doesn't bother me. The only person that I'm worried about and them actually hearing me is Beck. And if they don't want to, that's their prerogative. I'm okay with that. I want them to do whatever helps them. I'm not apologizing for myself. I'm apologizing to the person that I was in a relationship with for almost 5 years.
You're apologizing in a desperate attempt to make yourself look better. And you're probably a little bit jealous that Beck's videos are outperforming yours right now.
And I hurt them, and I'm sorry for that. I really want to continue taking that experience and that relationship and learning from it. Beck can say absolutely anything from this point forward, and I am not going to respond. I
Sure you're not.
genuinely wish them nothing but the best. And
Then pay them for the live stream era if you wish them nothing but the best.
the apology that I need to give to you guys, if I hurt any of you during this whole thing because you guys care for Beck, then I'm also sorry for that. I am a very flawed individual. That is not an excuse, but I'm a flawed individual that can learn from this experience.
So learn. We're all waiting. We've been waiting.
And thankfully, I have. Whether people see it or believe it, I know it because I
don't see it and I don't believe it.
I am my own person and I know how I've been in past relationships. And as
We do too. We've all seen it.
I've gotten older and more mature, and I've learned
Where?
more about my BPD and just who I am as a person. I have become a better person, and I have
Where?
become a better girlfriend. I've
Where?
become a better friend. I've
Where?
become a better pet parent. I've become a better...
Where? Where did you become a better pet parent? Of all the claims of I'm a better this, I'm a better that, are you kidding me? After what just happened, due to your laziness and negligence to Rarity, you're a better pet parent now? Girl, F out of
daughter.
here.
I've become a better sister, but I'm still flawed. I'm super complex and nuanced, just like we all are. And this just has to be the last time that I speak about this to protect my peace. And I hope that Beck does things that also protects theirs. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.
That really just felt like Amber saying a bunch of things that she thinks you say when you take accountability for something. But clearly she has no idea what actually taking accountability looks like. So we got this. I hated it. 0 out of 10. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.